You can have the best offer in the world and still lose the deal to somebody who looks better. Nobody will say this to your face, but how you look either makes people say yes, either hesitate. How you dress impacts whether they trust you with their money, their time, and their business. Rule number 1, don't dress too feminine, because as a woman in business, you are going to be undervalued by your male clients, investors, or subordinates. Either because you look naturally young, either because you're kind and eager to help, or simply because you're a woman.
But yeah, but that's what she is. She's a gold digger. She's a gold digger.
Your outfit needs to compensate the authority you're not given by default. If you are easily seen as nice or pretty or helpful, then your outfit shouldn't say any of that. That means you should avoid flowers, pretty bows, anything preppy, because the combination of your natural inclination to be warm and nice, plus the girly, nice, approachable connotations of your outfit is going to make you look like you don't have very strong boundaries. Therefore, prices are negotiable, timelines are negotiable, scope is negotiable, because you look so cute and nice and eager to help. Additionally, as a woman, you are by default sexualized by a man. It is a simple law of nature, but you should be aware of it. If you add sexiness in your outfit to the fact that you are already sexualized, then it's going to be much more difficult for you to be taken seriously by men. That finds its roots in what we call the whore Madonna complex, which tells you that men don't respect women they sexualize. The more sexy you look at work, the harder it is going to be respected by your male counterparts. Instead, your outfit should say power, but in a very specific way. It shouldn't say dominating power, with very big shoulders, a very snatched waist, a lot of straight lines, very pointy shoes, very high heels, heavy makeup, long nails, because these don't convey power, they convey insecurity. They are so bold and so much that they basically say at a subconscious level that you need to compensate your insecurity with your appearance. You shouldn't look like you need an armor to do work. You should look like your confidence comes from within. Even if that's not really the case, your clothes can convey exactly that. That's what I call an established power look. Your look should convey that you're above because you're the leader, so we're using some straight lines and some classic pieces, but you should also convey approachability. There are 2 types of authority: dominance and prestige. Dominance is the one we want to avoid that I just described earlier. Prestige is what we're looking for with our approachable power look. Someone who leads from prestige doesn't need to protect their boundaries harshly with their outfit, because everything that they are and embody expresses already those boundaries. This way, we hit a kind of feminine that is not sexy, but that has more of a motherly kind of power, the power of a leader. These 2 types of femininity are not perceived in the same way by men. The first one is a potential mate, more difficult to respect as a business peer, and the other one is an untouchable category, much easier to respect as a business partner. Rule number 2, invests in fabric, not brand. I invested in a 420 euro shirt the other day. I absolutely loved the shape. It was perfect for my brand. And when I received it, I discovered that it was extremely transparent. To have a little bit of fun, I asked my Instagram followers to guess how much I spent on that shirt. And as you can see, the majority could not have imagined that I spent 420 euros on that shirt. And that tells you that people only see the face value of what you wear, not how much you spent, neither what brand you bought it from. They will assume, based on what they see, the level of success of your business, your attention to detail, your ability to invest in good pieces, and your status in society in general. If I had showed up at the customer meeting in that shirt, they would have assumed that I was struggling, even though I spent a substantial amount of money on it. And that would have substantially impacted my case as a potential business partner. It's sad to say, but nowadays you can't trust a brand. You can't assume that because you're going to buy from a prestigious brand or spend more that you're going to get better quality. My husband and I went shopping at La Samaritaine last week, which is a prestigious department store in Paris, and we were appalled to see the disastrous quality of the fabric compared to the price. Some brands were expecting you to spend thousands on pieces that were made exclusively out of polyester. White cotton shirts were all transparent, even at Dior, and it was difficult to find a piece that was not blended with some plastic in some way. As an entrepreneur, it's essential that you educate yourself on materials, because people will assume a great deal about you and your business based on what you look and the quality of what you wear. As a rule of thumb, never invest in something that is blended with plastic, polyester, polyamide, you have the list right here. Avoid all of those. They look cheaper and they don't last, meaning you're investing money on something that is not going to give you an ROI as much as something in fully natural fibers. And the last reason why you should invest in fabric instead of brand is that wearing logos actually plays against you. When you wear logos, what you are saying is, I have finally made it. I started broke, but today I have money and I can afford those expensive pieces. The problem is that at a subconscious level, this conveys a need to compensate your insecurity, because if you were confident in yourself, you wouldn't need to show your worth through your ability to afford something. Therefore, to a customer, you're going to look less grounded and less confident than somebody who just wears quality materials without any logo. If you love a certain brand, limit the visible logos to just one, either on your bag, either discreetly on your shoe, either discreetly on your belt, discreetly, not the big Gucci logo. This will say that you can afford designer, but not say that you need logos to feel worthy. Rule number 3, dress as if you were the most important person in the room, even if you don't feel like it yet. Early on in your business, you might have dressed to look more approachable. And if you're at the beginning of your journey, you might be doing this. But for your business to evolve, you need to visually evolve first. By upgrading how you look, you're going to attract customers that are currently out of your league, because they don't see you as a peer. The moment you change your visual codes is the moment where they're going to see you as a potential business partner. Your outfit should always slightly exceed the formality of your environment. Underdressing reads as indifference, but overdressing reads as trying too hard. I was at an entrepreneur's breakfast the other day, and even though it was a breakfast, I showed up with my shirt, my high heels, my tailored trench, and my classic bag. I had added a little bit of casualness with black barrel jeans. This way I presented myself as somebody serious, but not as somebody who took herself too seriously, thanks to the jeans. And if you're wondering how much your appearance is currently costing you in sales, I have designed an audit that will give you that exact number. I have combined my experience in business and hundreds of thousands of data points using AI to create a test that will give you exactly, based on how much you're making today, how much you're actually losing due to your appearance. This audit is completely free and the link is in the description. Rule number 4, invest in tailoring. That is so underestimated. How well a piece falls on you says so much about your level of attention to detail. A perfectly tailored mid-range piece will by far outperform an expensive one that falls poorly. Traditionally, clothing was made to stop exactly where your body bends. Your sleeve should always stop at your wrist. Your top should stop at your waist. Your pants should stop mid-ankle. Those are the rules of classic tailoring. The trend today is oversized clothing, and although you might think that is to make you look cool, the truth is that it enables brands to produce way less sizes because the garments are bigger and they fit more body types. But in reality, it fits most people poorly. If you want to look like the entrepreneur who is succeeding and attract customers that are currently out of your league, you need to put a real emphasis on tailoring and put those oversized pieces that fall wherever to the giveaway bag. Make tailoring a part of the process of investing in your wardrobe. When I fly over to my Icon Protocol clients, that is something that is included in the investment because I could not offer them a true impactful wardrobe without tailoring. Rule number 5, play with your shoes, because shoes tell a story of their own based on their color, based on their shape, based on the amount of heel, the width of the heel. If you have ever been in a situation where in the same day you have a classic client meeting, then you have a podcast interview, and then in the evening you have a cocktail and you're wondering how you're going to change and dress appropriately for all of those 3 events, shoes are a great way to do that. You don't need to change the base, you just need to change the shoe. In the morning, for your client meeting, go with a classic shoe, something understated, simply classic, established power. For your podcast, go with a bold shoe because we want to express your leadership to the world, and that's extremely important. And for your cocktail, switch to a feminine shoe that is going to add a lot of femininity to your outfit, which is perfect for a cocktail. Never, ever wear sneakers in any circumstance as a business leader, unless you have made it the staple of your brand. But I should not even say it because that's a really specific situation. People don't want to do serious business with somebody who has a very laid-back appearance, because somebody who has a laid-back appearance subconsciously conveys the message that their business is laid back. Their operations are laid back, their timelines are laid back, and the way they handle all of their customers is laid back as well. Even though that might not be true, that's the message that you're sending with sneakers. Your makeup is as important as your outfit. And I'm going to share with you a conversation that I had with one of my private clients. We were considering whether we should change her hairstyle and her makeup. I was explaining to her that the story her outfit tells is going to be read together with the story her makeup tells. If the outfit is bold, the makeup shouldn't be bold as well, because it's going to be too bold, too performative, and a bit costumey. If the outfit is rather soft, then the makeup can be a little bit more interesting and a little bit more feminine. If the outfit has a little bit of sexy in it, then the makeup shouldn't have sexy, because otherwise we're going to have too much sexy for how we want to be perceived. When doing your makeup, you need to take into account what the outfit says. Because if you're used to doing a very powerful makeup, but then your outfit also has a lot going on, maybe you have a red shoe, maybe you have a power blazer, and then you have a very intense makeup, it's going to be too much. What I advised my client was to stick with her current makeup, which was quite neutral, and to rather change the outfit to adapt the boldness level to whatever room she would be in. Your lingerie should be invisible, both in terms of shape and in terms of color. Your underwear decides whether or not your clothes are going to fall well, because they shape your silhouette. If your bra is too tight, it's going to bulge at the top, it's going to bulge on the sides. If it's too big, you're going to have a hollow part where the fabric is going to fall. And it's the same with your panties. If they're too tight, you're going to have that little muffin top or that little mark in the middle of your bum. And that's not going to make you look professional at all, because once again, that expresses a lack of attention to detail. It also catches the eye of your prospect or your potential business partner. And it's usually not preferable that your lingerie is something that shows up in their mind when you're talking big numbers. Usually for a business meeting or any kind of business situation, it's best to have those invisible underwear, the ones that don't show and don't mark, that are rather flat, because you don't have any kind of risk that the lace or the design of your bra or panties shows through your clothes. If lingerie is what makes you feel sexy sexy and ready to attack the day, then find something in between that you are sure will not be visible in any way. And if you're wearing white blouses, always have nude underwear. Don't wear white under white because it's going to show even more. Know your colors, because the colors that are closest to your face will change how you appear in a way that people usually can't describe, but that really has an effect. You can be exhausted in the morning, but wearing the right colors is going to make you pop and make you look full of vitality, even though you have big bags under your eyes. The first thing that you should figure out to know what colors are right for you is your undertone, whether it's cold or warm. And then the second thing that you should figure out is whether you have a low or high contrast. The contrast I'm talking about is the contrast between your skin and your hair, eyebrows, and eyes. If you have a cold undertone and a low contrast, you are a summer. If you have a cold undertone and a high contrast, you are a winter. If you have a warm undertone and low contrast, you are an autumn. And if you have a warm undertone and a high contrast, you are a spring. Start wearing the colors that are right for you and you're going to see an incredible difference, especially if you take calls on Zoom. Build a signature look. People trust what they can predict, and a coherent style repeated over and over again starts acting as a brand, and a brand is something established you can rely on. Your signature look should associate you with the right message, and that is extremely important. What you want is for it to convey your essence and your leadership style. The first step to building your signature look is to understand your style archetype. Your style archetype is linked to the kind of femininity you naturally express in the world. Because being a female leader is absolutely not about stripping you of your femininity to try to fit into the male mode. When you dress within your style archetype, you are going to look so much more powerful and aligned because you are expressing through clothing how you feel and naturally lead. This is an example with one of my clients inside the Authority Vault. She dresses in a very classic, timeless style, but when it goes towards too classic, it's a bit boring. It lacks a little bit of spark. We can't really see her personality. She's quite erased. But when she embraces her style archetype, then she starts to pop. There's something interesting about her. There's something happening. You want to know more who that person is. And that is because in that outfit, she has embraced her love for historical fashion. The same woman in different outfits conveys completely different levels of leadership. And I'll let you decide which one you would rather work with as a client. If you want to know how much you're currently losing in sales due to your appearance, I invite you to take the audit. The link is in the description. And I want to warmly thank you for spending this time with me. I will see you very happily in the next one. À bientôt!